Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Building World Peace, an interview series showcasing modern mission school initiates from all walks of life who are working on the same mission of building world peace. I am your host. I'm Ling. I'm a ritual master, a guide, and a teacher in the ancient lineage of King Solomon under the modern mission school. And today I have with me Dr. Sean Carey, a fellow initiate, and I'm super excited to introduce him to you and also to learn more about him and his stories. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Lynn. Thank you all so much for joining. It's such a pleasure to get to talk with you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for what's going to happen today.
Me too.
um, could you introduce a little bit about yourself, Sean?
Yes. So I'm a chiropractor. I'm a practicing chiropractor in Newburyport, Massachusetts. And I also work as a spiritual guide and teacher and ritual master in the lineage of King Solomon as well. And I have an office in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where we do that. And then I'm all over the world as far as trainings and things with this work. So it's amazing. I really love it. And I'm glad to share my story.
Awesome. So, could you let maybe so what brought you here to this moment, Sean? Maybe if you could
Yeah.
give us some version of the stories.
Yeah, absolutely. To make a long story short, I met a friend of mine at a chiropractic group, and he's someone who, Dr. Nick Penzarella, he is an amazing friend of mine, and he had just gotten into this work. He had just done the first session that people do called a life activation, and I saw him at this event, and I was like, Nick, what do you do? You're glowing. Like he was literally glowing. And he's like, I went and did this session with this guy. It was called life activation. And I was like, whatever you did, I want to do that. And I got the person's information right then, and I texted him that night and had my session scheduled for the next day. But it was I saw how much brighter he was, and he was just glowing, and it was this magnetic energy. And I was like, I really want that. And then when I first did the life activation, it was very out of my wheelhouse. It was very different than I was used to in terms of healing, but it was something that was so incredibly powerful and transformative to me that I knew in my heart, I knew in all aspects of my being that it was something really good happened, even though I couldn't really describe it or put into words. And it was this feeling that was just so amazing. And I started scheduling more sessions and doing the Empower Thyself initiation and studying Universal Kabbalah and further trainings with the Mystery School. And my life just rapidly started to get better in so many different ways. It really wasn't something that I was expecting, but it was just absolutely amazing the fruits of how my life improved with this work.
Wow, that's really cool. How long have you been in the school?
For about 6 years now. It's almost my
Mm.
6 year anniversary in a few
When
weeks.
is Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
you'll be in we
yeah,
may even see each other at that point then.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I
Yeah,
think we will.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Sean, for those who may be very, very new to this series, they
yeah,
may not know what the modern mission school is.
yeah,
So could you maybe introduce the school to them, and also could you
yeah.
share what does it mean to you? Like, what is a modern mission school to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the school, I mean, we have students all over the world and around 70 countries right now. And it's really a university for the soul. It teaches profound spiritual wisdom and in many different ways. It's this area where it's this entity, this school that you can go to, and you can really have your spiritual life and development accelerated so profoundly. And the fruits of what you get from that are incredible if you choose to do it. But I didn't realize there was a school that existed like this on the planet. I've been to lots of like normal human school, but as far as a university for the soul, it was something I was really always kind of searching for and didn't realize existed. But it does, and it's open to the public. It's the only mystery school in the world of one of the seven ancient mystery schools that's actually open to the public to be able to study and join and take classes, as many or as few as you want to, and really progress at your own pace as far as learning these deep, profound truths.
Mm, that's cool. Um, One thing that came up when you were talking about this mission school is that, yes, this is a university for the soul, and
yeah,
yes, it helps with our spiritual progression. And but also, like, it's like spirituality. What I've learned, because I used to think spirituality and physicality are separated,
yeah,
right? So I think some people who started learning about the mystery school may be like, I don't care about spirituality. But
yeah,
the reason that it may apply for you, but the reason that I'm in the school is because I I see so many good results,
yeah,
in my life, in my physical life. And from that, I know, okay, this is something good, and this
yeah,
is something I want more of.
yeah.
Yeah.
I totally echo that too. That's been my experience, and it wasn't something that when I first got exposed to it, I wasn't necessarily looking for all this. It was, but I was looking because I wanted to be able to have an even more successful practice, and I wanted to have more energy and more positive energy and all these different things. And then my life just started improving in all sorts of different areas that I wasn't expecting. So that's really made me fall in love with the work.
Yeah, and actually, that reminds me, since I know you're a doctor, and my boyfriend is a doctor, so I gotta see the schooling or the amount of
Yeah,
education he has to do. It's interesting, um, because that you were so open, to something that you perhaps didn't understand.
yeah,
Um, yeah, even with all the credentials and all the pressure you must have felt as a doctor.
yeah, yeah. It was definitely outside my comfort zone. But it was at the same time, it was something I was just like drawn to. It was there was this aspect to it that didn't make sense to my mind, and my mind had so many questions, and my ego went
Yeah.
crazy for a long time at the beginning about the things that didn't mentally make sense to me. But the reality was that as I was doing it, my life was improving. So it was something where I was like, I was just looking at the fruits of my life, and it was like, okay, what I'm doing here, it's giving me a more better return on my investment than all these other things that I've done, um, which I don't regret. They all served a great purpose, but it was like I was just getting so much out of it in these classes that I wasn't expecting. And we have this school system in the world and in the country where there's so much knowledge out there, but there's so little wisdom. And the mystery school is
Hmm.
really like you don't go there to just study knowledge. It's really about ancient wisdom and understanding energy and how to apply it to your life and to the world to make it better. So it's like you're learning pure wisdom is what it feels like for me. And it really, like, as you do that, it really changes your life because, like, as somebody who's studied a lot of different things, I learned how to speed read when I was in college, and I've read many books and taken many seminars and things, but most of the time it's just knowledge, and it's very different from wisdom. Like, knowledge doesn't just transform your life most of the time, but wisdom, it really does. So being able to just take these classes and have real world wisdom and about the universe, about life, about us as human beings and our spirit, and seeing the fruits of the positive change in our life, it was just more than I could have ever hoped for. And it was certainly more than I've ever gotten out of any other types of education, from like college and undergraduate and seminars. Like, dollar for dollar, what I've paid and what I've gotten back has been, exponents of what I expected. And every single class that I did was like that for me.
Yeah, I definitely share the same experience, especially regarding like the dollar for dollar value.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why I think I'm at the point where in the beginning, there was maybe some kind of reservation, but I'm definitely at the point where I realized, okay, however much it takes, I know I'm gonna get back like tenfold, if not
yeah,
more. So
yeah,
why not? Why
yeah,
not make the investment in myself and in
yeah,
my service?
yeah,
And I love the distinction you made between knowledge and wisdom.
yeah,
That is so true. We are, especially I think with the internet, that's like the
yeah,
access to, in a way, it can potentially be infinite knowledge. I
yeah,
mean, vast. I don't know if it's infinite, but yeah, right. But I don't. It's hard to learn wisdom, or to get wisdom from from online or from reading anything. It's
yeah,
something that you have to apply
yeah,
the knowledge. and then kind of look at the result and just gain deeper understanding, and from there that's how you gain wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
we have the school, the quality of the teachers and that we have is just absolutely incredible. And so it's you go into you go to the mystery school if you choose to do so, and the people teaching the subjects, they really know it, and there are people who've gone through a whole lot to achieve that wisdom. Like, you can't shortcut wisdom. You can shortcut knowledge that you can cram before a test and then you can kind of regurgitate it the next day, but you can't do that with wisdom. And it's just something so different. And having gone to school to emerge with a doctorate degree, that was much easier than it was for me as far as the work with the mystery school, because it didn't require me to go through a whole bunch of soul lessons. It was more like me. There was many challenges with it, and it was an incredibly difficult process. But it was mostly about academic learning. It wasn't like my soul requiring to learn lessons and heal my biggest wounds and confront things that I wasn't confronting, that I just kind of wanted to leave in the in the closet there as and unaware. And all these different courses and trainings really helped me to step into who I need to be, that the world needed me to be, and my potential in a much greater way.
Yeah, that was, that's true what you said, that you can kind of shortcut through knowledge, but not through wisdom, right? Like,
Yeah,
I remember you can totally just kind of hack your mind
yeah,
um, through, even through, grad school or PhD, whatever. Like, you
yeah,
can totally do that, but I have seen that, like I have seen ways where I just could not hide from myself, or I could not hide from dealing with what you said, the soul lessons, in order to step to, go into the next steps
yeah.
on this path. So that's, I mean, and I feel like we're making it out to be like so hard.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't want to scare the people listening. Like, for me it's fun,
Yeah,
because it's not hard, more like it's challenging, right?
yeah,
And but through these good challenges, like
yeah,
there are stress, or there are challenges that break you, like in a bad way, but then there are the challenges that help you grow, right? Like going to the gym. And I feel like having been on this path, there have been more of the good kind of challenges that really helped me grow. And for me, that's what makes it fun, makes life more interesting.
yeah. Absolutely. For me too, and I totally echo that sentiment. As far as there are challenges just because the nature of our world. There's a lot of challenges in our world, and personal growth involves challenge. It just has to, because otherwise we'd simply stay in our comfort zone, and we'd be there. We wouldn't grow. But this is like that. It's simultaneously that push as, as far as what I've gotten from it, but also the support, where no matter what I've done, no matter what the challenge was, I've always felt support on this path, no matter what I was going through. And the nature of the path is that there are, we have a guide and we have teachers and people we build amazing relationships with, that really like kind of help you and lift you up when you need, and then also make sure you don't. Um, they share their wisdom with you, so you get to avoid some of the mistakes that they might have made. And the whole lineage is really based on wisdom too, where it's known as the lineage of King Solomon, even though it goes back further than that. But King Solomon was revered and known for his wisdom, and he was known as the wisest and most prosperous king. And the story is that God asked Solomon what he would like, and he of anything in the world, and he said he wanted wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom, he was then given everything.
That is very smart.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
very smart, right? Learn how to live as, as a divine being, and you get
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um, okay, so the topic, of this whole interview series is about
yeah,
building world peace. So I want to ask you a few things.
yeah, please.
What does, we, all of us, especially the high initiates in the mystery school, we are working on this mission of building world peace,
Yeah,
and we all have a unique piece to bring to the table, and we all kind of have a different vision
yeah.
that ultimately makes up to the bigger ones.
Hmm.
So I want to know from you, Sean, What does world peace look like to you?
I think it one for me it looks like first do no harm, so that each person is able to really live as who they are and express themselves without harming somebody else. We have this world where people are afraid. They say stuck, and a lot of people harm other people. And Shambhala, or this world of peace, as we call it, that really doesn't exist there. We'll still make mistakes. There'll still be disagreements, but we don't have to harm other people, and we don't have to allow harm to ourselves either. So I think that's one of the first basic building blocks that needs to happen. And then I think another big piece of it is that this world we live in today, there are so many systems that are broken. Like the healthcare system is broken, the education system is broken. Many systems are majorly broken, and we're all aware of it, but we don't necessarily know what's better, or how it could be better. And from my perspective and belief, that Shambhala, this world of peace, it has much better systems and structures in place to really support a higher level of living and a higher level of humanity, so that people are, we have this one life that we get to live, and we want it to be in a state of joy. We want to be in a state of goodness and expression and enjoying the beauty that exists here. But so many people don't for whatever reason. And that's another major issue that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, that's two big things. Can you elaborate more what you mean by do no harm? Because maybe it's because of, English is my second language. When you say do
Yeah.
no harm, to me it feels like more like, don't like physical harm. But I
Yeah.
feel like it's more than that.
It
what
is,
you saying?
for sure. Even being able to express somebody's perspective, or like for one person to be able to express just who they are. Oftentimes, other people, they they might want to attack somebody else based on their expression. Like in this world of peace, like, you, me, the listeners, we can all be expressing ourselves as who we are, and not in a way that's going to harm anybody else, not in a way that's going to have harm bounce back on us, just for expressing who we are, and our essence and our energy and our soul. Not our personality, but our truth, in a way that you don't have somebody like jump screaming and attacking you because of they don't agree with what you wrote on
Because they,
Facebook,
yeah.
or something like that. The social media, it's a great, actually, it's kind of a great testing tube where you can look on that and see how this is not world peace right now, where one person posts an opinion that other people don't agree with, and it's just crazy, the attacks that might happen, especially if it's something controversial at this point in time, like vaccines or politics, or any of the big hot topics there. That the way that we humans are responding to those things is really not okay for the most part. It's a way that people are committing evil to other people, and with world peace, there's not evil there like that.
Yeah, it's yeah. That's not the way of peace, right? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like, nothing, no behavior on somebody else's part
Hmm.
would justify violence on my part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
And
violence can also be not just attacking, like you said, but also it can be in thoughts.
totally.
Like that's. I
Totally.
mean, how many times we've had real, like, have we had really bad thoughts
Yeah.
about somebody else? And that's also not peace.
Yeah. And that was something I struggled with before the mystery school, actually, too, was just kind of the thoughts in my own mind, and going through this work. It's really helped to purify myself on the inside, so that my mind is more pure, my heart is more open, it's easier to express in myself and my emotions and all these things out to the world. And that purification piece is really important, I believe, as well.
Yeah. Definitely. We all need to purify our minds and our hearts.
Totally.
Um, did you believe in world peace before you started doing this work? Was that
Um,
even a thing?
No, it wasn't really like something I believed was possible. I thought it was human nature was that the world was just going to be this way, and it just kind of is what it is. It wasn't something that I really believed was possible, and I would have thought if you go back like 7 years to anybody devoted to world peace, like they were kind of crazy. Like, not that I wouldn't admire them, like Gandhi and Mother Amma and these people, but it was like, oh, I don't think that that's really possible. Was a mindset, and now there's so many things that I do on a daily and weekly basis that are really dedicated to world peace. But it also does have to, there's an aspect of it where we have to have peace within ourselves as well. So I think there's kind of something that you have to go through to be able to start having more peace within so that you can even believe it's possible. For me, it took a little while till I believed it.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, you mentioned something that I find funny because I definitely, years ago, I would have thought whoever talks about world peace is admirable, but
Yeah,
you know. And so I find it funny because whoever may be watching this video may also have the same thought.
yeah, totally,
But
totally.
it's okay, right? It's okay. That's why I'm making this series
Yeah,
because it's not something that is so unattainable because we, me, you, and so many others have maybe not, yeah, you have experienced it. And actually I wanted to ask, when was the first time that you realized world peace was possible?
um, the first time that comes to mind is we have this program in the mystery school lineage called Universal Kabbalah, Universal Hermetic Ray Kabbalah, and it's this really incredible 10-month like alchemical transformational journey that you go through, where you're learning about the mind of God, and you're really anchoring that energy into to yourself, and you're also clearing out your subconscious, and it is this incredible magical journey that you go through. And at the end of this 10-month journey, like we had kind of, there was this you're at a retreat, and we had finished this a big ritual, I guess you could call it, but there's a big kind of shift that takes place at the end. And it was so profound for me, that the shift in energy that I experienced, that I just kind of like sat there and I reevaluated like my whole life, and what I believed was possible, because I was not expecting that much like change and transformation was actually possible, that I experienced in that moment in time. And but then like you look around the room, and maybe there was like 50 other people who I did this program with, and you see the same look on all their faces, and it's like, oh wow, this really is possible, because we'd been talking about it all weekend, but I didn't really believe it until I had that experience of the final weekend myself.
Yeah, it's I'm getting chills because truly it's, it's something that, like, again, not sure you can hypnotize yourself into believing that world peace is possible,
Yeah,
but it's also through experiencing, that peace maybe within, but also maybe like in the community, or maybe see whatever big transformational changes that happen, that
yeah,
um, that knowledge or that idea can become more real. um, yeah, I totally relate to that.
yeah.
um, and so then, with your vision of world peace, oh, which the system thing, I love it. Like, I'm totally on board. We need better
Yeah,
systems, everything, um, healthcare, education, corporations,
yeah,
all everything.
yeah.
um, and with your visions of world peace like that, how are you playing your part,
Hmm.
like with your mission, like how are you fulfilling your piece in building this world that serves everyone?
Oh, that's such a great question. One of the things that kind of it hurts my heart when I look at the world as far as seeing this, is that so many people are in this, like they're kind of slaves, or zombies, and they're in this like matrix of 9 to 5, and I'm going to work, until I retire, and it's like, and I'm going to watch these stations on TV all the time, and like they just live in without really ever kind of moving out of a certain frequency or wavelength that they're in. And it's like you look at that, and that's humanity in mass. The vast majority of people are really living in this way, that they're kind of held down. They're kind of trapped. They're not really living life in pursuit of their dreams. They're not that they've accepted mediocrity from the world and from themselves. And as initiates, with the training we have, it's really our job to break free of mediocrity in ourselves and then in the world too. So there's this awakening people have to go through. There's this through this process of initiation and healings and activations and classes of showing people how to not just through a mindset shift. It's not like that. It's through actually transforming your energy so that the energy that you carry uplifts the entire world around you. So that you're such a higher frequency of energy that it attracts so many good things into you, and that you really can't stay stuck in this small life anymore. It's like your energy is too big for it, and uplifting those around you. So with my work, that's really one of my goals with people, is to help them step into that for themselves, because that's what was given to me. And it's, the greatest gift that I think people can give. So I do that. And then with healthcare, that's the work I do as a guide. And then with healthcare as a chiropractor, it's helping people to understand that their body is meant to be healthy and to clear obstructions to their own self-healing, so that they can really live a higher quality of life than they're living. Healthcare is one of the ways or just health in general, not even healthcare, where mediocrity is really what's running the show today. And people are just used to being on, so many different medications and sick all the time and not having energy and having poor sleep and all these poor health markers and just not having vitality. And it doesn't have to be that way. So that's part of my work as a chiropractor too.
Wow, that's true. That's true. When you talk about people being on so many different medications and just kind of in a way succumbing to the idea that you'll eventually get pains, and it's all the stuff. And there's a little bit of what do you call it? I feel like a feeling of resigning.
Yeah.
By giving your power away to your disease or your genetics or
totally
what your doctors tell you.
Yeah. It takes effort for sure. Like I would say that just going through the world, like if you're not really taking effort to be healthy or to live in this higher state, like you're just probably not going to get there. But that's what we use, is we use our will, we use our effort, we use our hope to actually create a better day for ourselves, instead of just kind of like sitting there being sad that better day never came.
Okay, Sean, so I can I can ask you so many, I can talk about this forever. Yeah. There's so many things, there's so many questions that just topics of discussion that popped up.
Yeah.
But we are almost at time.
Yeah.
So for one of the last questions to wrap up, I want to ask you, what do you want to share with those who may be in the healthcare field, or with those who are looking to make big impacts, make the world a better place, but maybe feeling quite stuck at this moment?
Yeah. Well, I would say, it's okay to be in that place where you're stuck. It's just important to, reach out for help and reach out to somebody who can help you. We have this saying in Hermetics within our lineage, this mystery school. It's a school of Hermetic philosophy and understanding. And we have the saying, you can't share what you do not have. So if you're a healthcare worker, you really need to take care of yourself. And as if somebody's an ER doctor or wherever you are in healthcare, you're going to be put in a lot of stressful situations. You're going to have a lot of people emotionally and physically depending on you. It can be really difficult. So it's really important to take care of yourself, to be able to manage your emotions, to be able to manage your energy, so that you're as clear as you possibly can, and that you're also able to leave work at the door too. So you don't go home carrying all the emotions and challenges of the day and other people's pain into your own life. You also need to be able to go and be a father or a wife or mother, or those things, and be the best expression of that you can. So that's something, learning how to regulate our energy and heal and have healthy energetic boundaries is something that's so valuable for healthcare workers and then people in general. The times in my life when I've been the most stuck, it's also when I experience the most shame about reaching out for help. And that made me stuck the longest. And now I'm much really good about it, I think, as far as if I am feeling stuck with something, I reach out to those people who typically higher initiates than me, who have more wisdom than I do. They have a tremendous amount of light that they can shine on something for me. And then it's like that is, maybe they give me a different perspective on what I'm going through, or maybe they share tools that I didn't even know existed that could help me. But that can just create leaps through your stuckness. One of the most incredible things about being an initiate is that you have access to a lot more energy, and that means that you can have breakthroughs much faster. So that instead of being stuck with something for like, I don't know, 5 years, like maybe it took me before, if I'm stuck on the same thing for a couple months, it feels like forever for me now.
Yes.
It's just so different.
It's like, oh, come on, like,
Yeah,
can I be done already, please?
yeah. But it
Yeah,
used
and
to be
then
so hard.
and it's only like a few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it really is possible. And, we talked a little bit earlier about how it might be, somebody might feel intimidated by this, but it's really a path of victory, where it's a path of victory, whereas, you have this incredible system, you have these incredible guides and teachers, and there's so many different healings and sessions that exist to help uplift you when you need it. So it's like you have a challenge come up, and then you have just the right tool for that. And then you have that victory of overcoming something that's been holding you back for a long time. And it's this incredible feeling to have victory in your life that it's so addictive and it's so good.
Yes, for sure. I totally I get that. Yeah, the feeling when you overcome what you thought was impossible,
Yeah, yeah,
it's it's out of the world, right?
yeah, totally.
Dr. Sean Carey, for whoever is watching or listening to this, and um, they love you and they are interested in working with you, maybe for your chiropractic service, but
Yeah.
also maybe for a life activation or the Empower Thyself class, how can they reach out and how can they find you?
Yeah. You can find me by if you just go to drseancarey.com, drseancarey.com. You can also email me at drseancarey@gmail.com, or look up my chiropractic office, which is Precision Chiropractic in Newburyport, Massachusetts. And I'd love to connect and help you in whatever way that I can.
Cool, awesome. And I'll also put all this information in the description
Excellent.
too. So, whoever wants to find you, they can find you. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Sean,
thank you so much,
for
Len.
spending time.
Yes,
Yeah.
and thank you everyone for taking the time to listen. It was so nice getting to speak with you and share.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I hope to maybe have you again
Yeah,
on
perfect.
I guess, on this series at another time for another topic.
Yeah, sounds wonderful.
All right. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sean. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.